All right, friends. So we're here now in round 3, and with only 5 rounds, wins become so important now, especially for both of these two, but for very different reasons. Because at the moment, Viper is not top of Group D. For Viper, he had that weak start, he had that slow start, and that was the same story last time in Titans League. Viper's going to want to turn this around, and if he can get the 3-0 victory as the favorite here today, Viper would then be tied with Sato at the top of the group. He will then play Sato in the next round and has a lot to play for first place. Dragonstar, I'm going to pull it up again. Dragonstar, he is in the relegation zone. 2 players get relegated out of every group, which is brutal in this format. Last season, he was able to save himself and ended up getting that 4th place position to stay alive. And Dragonstar does so through the strats. But he will know that Viper is extremely difficult to break. And Viper will understand that he has a lot in his control here. I think it's very good for Viper that essentially if he just wins out, I think if he wins the next 3 sets, which he would be the favorite in every one, he would get 1st place in the group, which did not happen last season. But the thing for Dragonstar, the consistent build for him, not even just this season, but also before it, he's been doing it some other events. It's been a very Dragonstar strategy, has been the drushing, okay? I think that's a big reason why Viper ended up banning out all the new DLC civs, because they were all very good at this. Dragonstar is already building the barracks. Aztecs don't have any major bonuses for wood savings here, so going for the barracks and delaying your lumber camp is kind of risky, but you do the math, and essentially these little reeds here, there's 5 of them. You have 50 wood per reed. That is just enough to recover the wood from this investment, and then when you have the food underneath the TC, you can make the militia. What Aztecs do have is Aztecs do have the additional golds. So you don't have to, you can make 5 militia and still get loom, which other civs can't do. So there is a bonus for this. But here we go. Now, if Viper did his homework, if he looked at Dragonstar sets, this should become very obvious. Chat, type a 1 in chat if you knew this was happening, because you have been paying attention to Titans League and watching and supporting, because you're all awesome, okay? Type a 1. Okay, so there's evidence of people who are aware that this was possibly going to be the case. So, you know, for Viper, hopefully he gets some preemptive walls. For now, he's just going to fight back this eagle. And Viper, he knows now, if he didn't know before, because he's found the militia in the middle. Dragonstar's micro is not the best. He had 2 attacks at different areas. And by the time we look back at Viper's base, Viper gets the preemptive walls down. That was important. That is step 1, though. Now, step 2, and it's just all these tiny little details that affect this build. It looks like Viper's villagers aren't actually working. If his villagers can't drop off wood, that'd be really bad. So the houses on this map, guys, when people build them, you can't build them next to your TC. And it's always on the downhill. So basically for Dragonstar, it's not like he needs villager kills here. He can actually snipe all of Viper's houses on the downhill hits, and Viper will then have to rebuild them all the time. And anywhere you build them, they are in range of an attack. Viper wants a trap, though. Dragonstar has to be careful. And Viper, let's see if he overcooks it here, but Viper just fighting back the militia. Most people go with 2, okay? And Viper lost the wood on that gate as well. Most people are going with 2. Dragonstar is going with more. He's already up to 5 militia. He's waiting for the rest of them here. And it's all about just putting Viper out of his comfort zone, especially because Viper can be a little slow to start at times. He knows that if he can just apply consistent pressure, it could snowball. I think Dragonstar, he's just diving for the kills here, and he doesn't get the kills. That is just so typical Viper, man. Like, you understand it from Dragonstar's perspective. You have to just send it when a villager's close to death. But Viper's villager is protected, at least for now. He goes for some quick walls here. And with more walls, Viper's villager's actually able to get back to work. I think there, Dragonstar, he didn't trust himself to just stick to the core strategy of taking down the houses. And he wanted the villager kills. Guys, Dragonstar's going full send right now. He's actually made even more militia. So he doesn't have the gold to get loom. But, I mean, it's still a lot of work for Viper. And his woodline's supposed to be the efficient aspect of his eco because he has double bed X in the early stages. Now the big question is, can Dragonstar ever make it to feudal age? He's got his wood line up, so that's good. He'll go out to the berries and drop a mill. There's also another area for berries. And he's still attacking Viper's houses. Viper has added the fish, so he saved the fish for his fishing ships. So he's up in workers. He also is over here on the berries. The Dragonstar's militia are all just attacking the houses. And what a start. What a freaking start. This is sick. Like for Viper, repairing the houses is pretty much all you can do. But I don't know if Viper is aware of how quick the follow-up can be for Dragonstar. Again, it's not like with other people, with other builds, you don't get the villager kills, and I'd be sitting here like, oh, it's over. Like, that's too big of an investment. But he's on the way to feudal. So he will come forward here. I'm fairly certain of it. I think Dragonstar will come and try and drop a tower behind Viper's woodline. The Viper is on the way to feudal age. 2 of these units are weak. Dragonstar's probably looking at home right now. But yeah, Dragonstar will group up his units together. Viper comes back to the wood line. Viper drops more quick walls because he's an absolute god at that. But where are the villagers for Dragonstar? Will he send more units out of the barracks? Will he bring villagers forward? Is the question. There's no water in the middle here. Or sorry, that's obviously very wrong. There's no fish in the middle here is what I meant to say. And it's not that common for people to do the dock approach. Basically, once Viper finishes the fish, he'll want to add fish traps, which is big investment. But Viper won't have an immediate response to this. He's being cheeky here. They're attacking each other through the diagonal. I assumed that Viper was aware of this and would pull the villager back. And yes, that's true. Dragonstar's villagers are already here. And Viper's villagers, many of them are weak. It's so key for Viper that he recognizes this and goes for Town Watch. But I really don't know if he's aware of how continuous this is from Dragonstar. Okay, I think he is aware because he's towering before he even... Yeah, he's towering and he's getting Town Watch. He didn't see any of that. Remember, he lost his scout, but this is still really good for Dragonstar. Viper's got a lot of vills in here. So he can only fit 5 inside the tower. The other villagers are going to have to move away. And then he won't have the wood income to build an archer range. He won't have the wood income to build the fish traps. Basically, everything Viper needs is wood right now. The man-at-arms from Dragonstar are here, and he's going to continue with them. Also, behind this, we see an archer range for Dragonstar as well. The Viper leaves the wood line now, and he might be forced into the back areas of the map. At Dragonstar's aggression, I know it hasn't killed any villagers so far, but it's led to a lot of idle time. Every Titans League season, like last season, was this similar storylines. Nobody expects Dragonstar to compete. But he's the most prepared player. He has strategies that match his playstyle. And he's able to bring it to the very best. But he was only got 2 wins so far this season. It's going to have to be more. I'd like to see his man-at-arms maybe... He's kind of caught in 2 minds. He doesn't know where to go. Does he attack the tower? Or does he end up attacking Viper's woodline here? I think if he groups up all of his units and hits this woodline, that's the key right now. That's a 100 wood investment for Viper's mining camp. But Viper's added Flemish militia. And Viper's Flemish militia, they come out very quickly. And Viper has held against this pressure so far. Both players having to repair and go in and out of the tower. But if you make a mistake there and you don't garrison, you'll lose villagers. Dragonstar's lost 1. And Dragonstar also lost the man-at-arm. Viper will get wheelbarrow, which is always a good tech to have, especially if your villagers are going to need to run away from pressure. Dragonstar has the archers. Viper will bring villagers out now to batter down this tower. Still in and out of the tower. Viper's defended this perfectly. But now it's a matter of how good are the Flemish militia. I think with the archers and the man-at-arms, this should be a better fight for Dragonstar, and he believes it as well. He takes the fight. If it's an even fight, it's okay for Viper. It's close to even, but Dragonstar ends up getting the clear up. Viper is chasing down the villagers here, though, and now Viper can have all of his villagers on wood, and Viper can commit into an archer range of his own. I think it's really important for Viper that he cleared up that tower, and he's also killed 2 vills. Man-at-arms and archers here again. Flemish Militia just produced so quickly. A great decision from Viper to add them. And just quick check of the fish traps. He's got 3 fishing ships on fish traps now. Still no farms. Dragonstar has farms. A Dragonstar will have more army coming forward, but Viper has the skirms. It just feels like the defense from Viper has been just enough. And his Civ can unlock some additional potential as well with the earlier eco upgrades, right? What a fun game. Guys, this is... Now, in the first round, Viper was maybe a bit sick. I think it's a combination of it being first round Viper, but also maybe illness, right? But Viper is playing insanely well. This is actually way cleaner from Dragonstar than we saw against Vivi in his prior rounds. Like, this opening has been stellar, and he's had the right ideas, but he just cannot get enough to break Viper right now. And so you kind of worry if you're Dragonstar that if you haven't been able... You've worked so hard. You've had all the perfect timings, all your practice. And if that hasn't worked yet, that you could have some issues breaking him here, but we'll find out. He does have fletching. Viper doesn't have that yet. Viper does have big numbers. Viper backs off, and I hear a dock there from Dragonstar, so he'll dock the middle. Yeah, so you can go demos. Demos are more expensive now. Remember the water change? So I feel like the occasional demo on Mudflow is a bit more questionable, but if Viper ever runs through the middle, Dragonstar has that potential. You also could just use the demo on the woodline, and that's a lot of villagers on the woodline. Guys, he might not win the game, but can we just respect Dragonstar's confidence to run up the hill to consistently try and take micro fights against Viper when Viper has more numbers? He had the upgrade advantage, which is maybe why, but if Viper has fletching now, it's still impressive to me. Because the reality is, if he sits back, Viper's eco is just going to cook more and more. I think Dragonstar needs to engage Viper into a fight here, and then simultaneously loop around with the demo into the woodline. But you can't do it at the wrong time. Viper, he sees it. He sees it. He sees it. And the demo kills 2 units. There's arguments that's not worth it, but it might be worth it because now Viper doesn't have the defense that he needs, and the archers can just run right up the hill for Dragonstar. Dragonstar just keeps pressuring Viper, and Viper is now pushed off of his stone, and the archers can run around. Defensive tower in the back for Viper if the archers eventually get there. Defensive skirmishers from Viper, but now Viper's got the Flemish Militia into the woodline from Dragonstar. But Dragonstar knows he didn't see the Flemish Militia anymore. He has the archers around. He's still microing here, but he had the archers there in position at least. That's probably good value for Viper, though. He still kills 2 eco. And luckily for Viper, he was on stone for a really long time. The other change is they made fish traps significantly stronger. They like triple buffed the strength of fish traps. They increased the HP, they increased the armor. So you can't just use feudal age units to take fish traps anymore, which should be amazing for Viper there. Dragonstar tried to attack. And Dragonstar's got a galley on behind the woodline, but I think the galley got hit by the tower. And now Viper just realizes that and will focus it down with the villagers. So far, this is still a really weak area for Viper, but he hasn't taken damage. He's got his towers up. A T90, why not early forward dock your opponent's TC pawn and spam demos into their TC? Well, you have to get the villagers there. And it's just extremely difficult, and it's extremely risky, and it's bad for your economy to be walking forward like that. But no, like, if he came forward right now, Viper does not have enough army. Viper is chasing these skirmishers. He's now got more army coming this way. Dragonstar continues to surprise Viper with the sheer numbers. But he recognizes, like, Dragonstar knows he's not as quick. He's not as good, maybe. So it has to be the strategy. Viper's just been spending all of his resources on the fishing ships and fish traps. The fish traps might be stronger, but the fishing ships aren't. You see how many hits that takes now? Docks also do fire arrows. The fishing ships get garrison now. Viper's added a galley in his own pond just to protect the fishing eco. Dragonstar, I don't know if he's done enough yet, but he is on the way to Castle Age. Viper's using the market now. He'll be clicking up soon. I'd love to see Dragonstar play galleys in the middle water now. I think he still wants to get all the kills over here, and he clearly feels like eagles are the play or something to try and take down the fishing ships. I guess it's difficult, but if you can hit Viper's woodline, like that might be game ending. Viper's got 18 villagers there. So many of them are weak. I still think the potential for a demo is there if you have Viper distracted in the main fight at the same time. What a game, though. What a game. And it could go either way. Like, I don't know if Sato is watching at the moment, but Sato's got to be losing his mind. Sato wants Dragonstar to win this game. That puts a lot less pressure on Sato in that next series when Sato plays Viper. Sato's top of the group, 7 wins. Viper's at 4. I'm sure a lot of the players in the group are watching. What a game. What a game. I'm enjoying this so much. It's kind of the dream to see the underdog versus the favorite. Have the underdog bring excellent pressure, but have the favorite hold on. Have to have completely different strategies. Vipers has the right idea. I think he was saving for a castle, but he's just gonna drop towers everywhere now. He knows Dragonstar will continue to send some pressure. With 3 towers now for Viper, if he gets ranged upgrades, becomes really 4. Really difficult for Dragonstar to do damage there. But, I mean, Dragonstar is not interested in any of this. He's sick of this crap. So, he wants to go here. And he wants to pressure the fish. I think if he gets rid of the fish, everything else he can figure out. Quick look back at Dragonstar's eco. He's got awesome farming eco. Here he comes with crossbow. Here he comes with bodkin. But you can garrison the fish, right? And so if you garrison the fish, they'll fire and get some defense. Dragonstar's like, I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap. I'm sniping your fish traps. This isn't Black Forest, you nerd. And it's working. Guys, every fish trap is 100 wood. Like, that is so costly for Viper. That's supposed to be his food eco right now. And Dragonstar's just losing his crossbows to the new change and the new arrows. He loses eagles. He doesn't care. Viper's got like 2 fish traps to work off of right now. Counterattack from Viper. It's a tiny counterattack. I don't think that will accomplish too much. Dragonstar drops the second TC. His crossbows will still be running around. He's now sniping Viper's farming eco. I mean, Viper's fishing... His fishing count is why he has the eco lead, and his fishing ships are basically a non-factor right now. The second TC from Viper over on the right side. And yeah, like we said, this was always going to get cleared up, so Dragonstar gets the full clear. Guys, Dragonstar's cooking. He's cooking big time. This is beautiful play. It is easily the best I've seen Dragonstar play the whole season. And it is also some of the sharpest AoE we've seen from Viper so far, too. And this game could go late. And second TC for Viper secures the wood line. I think Viper does need to just find some safe eco away from the crossbows. No hesitation from Dragonstar. We've seen the Viper affect people so many times where people don't take their opportunities. Nope, he's just chilling. He'll dive the tower. He says, what are you going to do? Still wondering what Viper's going to do. He will get a relic. This could be an important matchup for relics. Aztecs get 33% more gold for each relic. Still feel like the longer the game goes on, maybe a second dock, maybe some Hawks could be strong here. But I guess with Viper's town centers and towers, it's tough to find immediate value. Look at him patrol around with the crossbows. He's searching for Viper. Dragonstar doesn't know that Viper is over here. That's kind of the main area he's missing. But Viper's eco is just disastrous. And we have seen this fish trap play work before. We saw Japanese fish traps from Lewis. We saw it from Hera. But no one was able to make this much army. No one pressured it quite like this. And now the villagers are on the move for Viper, and Dragonstar sees it. He sees everything. And now he finds the town center as well. Crossbows on the front from Dragonstar. 2 villager snipes. And also the monk. Here, Viper comes in with the mangonel. Dragonstar micros it. What is this god mode from Dragonstar? How is he microing everything? What's the meme? Check him PC? Check him PC. Oh god, but there's check his farms. Actually, check his farms. Viper's getting a big counterattack. Dragonstar's probably not realizing that. Viper's got lots of idols. Dragonstar's still not realizing that, but he's coming forward with a castle. If he gets this castle up, Viper won't have many areas to run because there's army all over his base. And there goes the big energy castle. Viper might see this. He might try and counter castle. Maybe sell off resources and buy the stone real quick to counter castle. But if he doesn't do it quickly, he's in trouble. He'll see it. That's his wood economy. He can't do anything about it. Dragonstar's castle is going to go up. And Dragonstar is taking down more fish traps. Dragonstar has brought the energy today. And oh man, is he going to see this? He sees the castle. He sees the castle from Viper. And so Viper can't build it. He has to delete it. Where can Viper even go right now? His fish traps have been sniped. Of course, he did find the counter damage, which is very strong. But Dragonstar has realized that and will send some army back. Viper has the castle there. I mean, despite all of this, Viper's still finding a way to remain competitive in the game. That castle will go up. There's the town center there. He's got the farms. The unit he'll try and make is a very strong unit. The issue is you need food income for it. And he doesn't have food. And he also kind of barely has gold. But, I mean, he's in the game. It feels like Dragonstar is going to need to almost go imp against Viper here. And if Viper can start to get 1 or 2 units in these exposed areas, just like the Flemish militia, there's very good chances that he can set up some big siege shots, right? Viper's going for it. You go for the counter attack, and then you use the siege on the crossbows. Viper knows about this gold, and that's 13 villagers for Dragonstar. Dragonstar, he notices it as well. I think he wanted a castle over here. Look at him camp the gold. He's well aware long-term where those golds are going to be. I really think he just wanted to castle Viper, but now that Viper has the Scorpion, again, he's distracted. He's worried about his eco. He has to get conversions. The Viper, the villager's already wandering to that gold. Loses a couple more. But guys, you're not going to see a worse Burgundian eco than what Viper has right now. Viper's eco upgrades are fine, but this economy is horrible. Worker efficiency for Viper is probably way down compared to what he would have wanted. Dragonstar's eco isn't the best either. That could be more efficient, but I'm liking the positioning of the town centers. I'm liking the relics. I'm liking just how much army he has. And he refuses to quit. He's coming forward again. I thought he would give up on it after Viper had some army there, but here he goes. Yeah, so long term, the gold on this map is all around the outer ring. And so I'm pretty certain that right now Dragonstar recognizes that and is hoping to deny it from Viper. I like the continuous pressure because Viper's hoping to chip away and get counter damage. But eventually, Viper's going to need to face the army. And if he doesn't do so, he just continues to lose more and more ground. Little sloppy for Dragonstar. He's underneath... Oh, God. He's underneath the TC in the castle. But the castle completes. And once the castle's up, another Viper town center has been castled. Another direction Viper can't move. And now Viper is over on this side, and Dragonstar has the crossbows. Look at that from Viper, though. This could be a game-changing play. He notices it, and he is luring the crossbows away, and he is sneaking these vills. He's missing the gold, though. He doesn't know the gold is there. Still raiding over on the left side, which Dragonstar has to react to. But Viper doesn't see the gold, guys, and his outpost is actually very unfortunate. If he would have gone for the outpost back here, he would have found it. It's a bit weird, though, because if he continues on this direction, Dragonstar will never look for him there. Dragonstar will assume he's not over there at all. Dragonstar would really benefit from ballistics now. He has a lot of crossbows on the map, and he has the double castle. I feel like he really needs the ballistics upgrade. And he also needs his monks to be locked in. Even outposts would be huge here for Dragonstar, just so you're never surprised by Viper's movements. Outposts in this position, not so much, but outposts on the left, especially. now that he lost that army. He obviously lost it to something, so I think he's making a move over there. But guys, Viper ended up moving this way to just take berries. And that's not what he needs right now. He is fixing his farming eco. But he's gone from having no food eco and fixing that to pretty soon having no gold eco. And I'm not sure where he's taking gold, to be honest with you. He is getting +2 armor. He does have a lot of Custilier. Monks are coming, though, from Dragonstar in support. And I think the second Viper sees the monks, he might need to back off here. Still raids back here, and there's monks and pikemen from Dragonstar. I don't want to, like, overreact, but this might be one of the best performances I've seen from Dragonstar ever. Because typically, he's got the attacks, and the eco and the macro and the decision-making behind it is not there. I mean, the fact that he is not allowed any of the counterattacks to get value, like massive value. His eco upgrades are in. His military upgrades are in. He's playing out of his mind. This is when all the practice and all the effort Dragonstar's put into it starts to pay off here. Dragonstar will also have 4 relics, guys, and he's coming forward for another castle. If this castle goes up, it's over. Viper has to deny this castle. There's no question. Every town center that Viper has built this game, if this castle goes up, has been castled. Every single one. That's insane. That's 3 separate town centers. Viper's played into one of his most comfortable strategies, which is a fish boom. He's one of the best civilizations for his style, which is a big eco cav adapt towards late game civ. And Viper can't stop the castle. He has to run through. Dragonstar sees it. Game 1 is Dragonstar's. You know, with certain players, you don't really know what you're going to get. With Dragonstar, you know he will be one of the most prepared players in the entire league. I'm speechless right now. I haven't seen many players deserve a win quite like Dragonstar. This has been great. And again, the first series for Viper, I was a bit critical, right? And yeah, he just come off of being sick, and it's round 1 Viper. You know, he's going to figure it out. But this is round 3 now. I thought Viper's draft was good. I thought his strategy here, I could see it working. I kind of expected it to work. And he has been punished every single step of the way. His units will run past Dragonstar, but Imp is in, and Dragonstar says, how about a 4th castle? Imp upgrades on the way. Remember, Viper has no gold income right now. 0. So it'll be kind of brutal for him to push this back. And Viper, he calls the GG. I just want to point something out here. The average APM. Dragonstar is not a very young player. He's not a very quick player. He's a strategic player. And the entire game, he may have been slower. He may have, what was the KD here? He may have lost more units, but he spammed the units. And the #1 pick for Dragonstar gives him the win to start off the series. Can he get more victories here? That was beautiful, dude. That was insane. Wow. Whew. I mean, guys, I'm kind of clued into Dragonstar's prep and his training and some of his strats, even some that maybe aren't as well known publicly. But I think even I, on the prediction contest, had put 3-0 for Viper here today. That was what a start. What a start. By the way, what the big bonus here with Aztecs that Dragonstar really makes use of with his style is not one that anyone thinks is OP, but it's this. Military units train 15% faster. That is pretty damn good for someone who always needs to spam units. If you were to go through, we look at the military count here. Just look solely at the military population. Was there a point where Viper had more than him? Here. But according to Capture Age, that was 9-9. The rest of the game, Dragonstar always had more army. And Viper would try and climb back up, of course, but he just could not compete with the numbers, and then the game ended at 71 military for Dragonstar. So right now, live standings in the group. Now keep in mind that like Sato and Mihai and Vivi and Dark, they have all played their 3rd round, right? But live standings, live wins. We have Dragonstar with 3 wins. We have Viper with 4, okay? So maybe after the first game, we should be thinking, can Dragonstar actually pass Viper and put Viper into the relegation zone. I think it's early. Viper still always has to be the favorites. But after the preparation and the strategy there from Dragonstar, he clearly had a solid game plan. Who knows what's to come. Sato is loving life right now because Sato is to play Viper next round, and Sato's at 7 wins. Viper's still at 4. So the more wins that Dragonstar gets over Viper, if Viper is going to beat Sato and beat Mihai in the next rounds, the better it becomes for those other 2 players because they could still stay above Viper in the standings. And we've got Coast Arena. This is Viper's home map. And that game that Viper played against Dark in Coast Arena was just amazing adaptation to the pressure. And so clearly loves the map. Nice mix of water on this map. You've got the fish on the outside. You've got cheap gold units with the Portuguese. There are 2 civs for Viper historically. I feel like he's done really well with in tournaments. You got Portuguese and you got Chinese. There are some other civs, of course, like Britons back in the day for the older generation viewers. But yeah, Viper, I'm sure he's going to love his chances, settle his mind, and try and turn things around. Now, if this was normal arena, I would say Bohemians is superior. Bohemians are one of the best normal arena civilizations in the game, but they don't really have many water bonuses. So I really haven't seen the matchup yet. You always need to add some fishing eco, but with the new water balance having changed, with so many different things going through Dragonstar's mind, he will have to find a way to lean towards his strengths. And I would say that, like, you probably play defensive. You probably garrison your fishing ships inside the dock, and then you play land. Like, go for a castle drop, go for Hussite wagons, go for monks. Like, make this become very, very clowny. That's kind of what Viper did, but Viper was playing as Aztecs, and Viper went for monks with a better monk civ. But Portuguese still have very good monk upgrades. Guys, I was wondering why people were spamming the salmon command. Apparently the mods have not started the predictions, and people are spamming the salmon command. We have more people spamming the salmon command than we do spamming the dodge command after Star Wars gifted 50 freaking subs. Cut the mods some slack. It's a Monday, dude. It's a Monday. Thank you, mods, though, if you can get around to it. It's funny because there's no rewards for the channel points, and yet people really want the channel points that badly, so. MBL saying lazy. MBL, I'll make you a mod right now, and the people will turn against you immediately. Actually, making MBL a mod probably doesn't sound like the best decision. I say that with love. But yeah, you're right, MBL. You're not wrong. I am lazy. And it's all good if the mods don't get channel points for every game. I appreciate the mods. Thank you so much, Star Wars, though. Thank you. Viper using his scout, the old arena trick, bringing in his boar would be horrendous if he were to end up losing the scout. But this tells me that Viper will go monks pretty early. A player using their scout and weakening their scout to bring in the boar wouldn't make any sense otherwise. Dragonstar, not really certain yet, but he scouted the base. He looked very intently on where Viper might have any stone and gold, and he found the stone at least. And you also know where the relics are, so I think a castle somewhere around here. You deny the stone, and then you can take the gold, and then you can get the relics. Could be really strong. T90, do you think the new Portuguese circumnavigation tech will come to play here? I don't think so. But, like, because I don't think ships training faster in the Imperial Age is that important. I guess it's a Castle Age tech. But yeah, it sets the entire map to explore it, and then ships train faster. I don't really think so. Also, I think it's bugged. At least with Capture Age, it's bugged. Has anyone tested that technology in the game? Because someone researched it the other day, and you couldn't see everything with Capture Age. So I'm guessing Capture Age just doesn't work for it. They just didn't update it for it. Okay, it works for you guys. It's a rather specific thing, so maybe Capture Age will just have to get a fix out for that. But no, I expected this from Viper. I expected lots of fishing ships, especially now that you have some defense. If you're greedy, just and can garrison the fishing ships, I thought players would make a lot more of them. Dragonstar is on the way up right now. So he's gone 2 docks. He'll go up to 6 fishing ships. This looks like a water play for Dragonstar. The only bonus that the Bohemians really have here is their blacksmith is cheaper, so you can get to fletching faster if you wanted to play galleys, but I don't know. I think Viper, he's gone for the better economic play, and if there's not lots of obvious ways to do damage with military, I'm always going to prefer Viper with the better economy. The Viper should have just enough time here. If you look at the difference in feudal age, by the time that any navy from Dragonstar were to get to Viper's base, Viper can probably have his own ships out. But you do have to decide on what ship to make. I guess the way it's supposed to work is fires are better than galleys. So if you're expecting galleys, you should go for a couple fires. But if you're up against Hawks, you would want to go for your own galleys. It's a bit more of a water triangle now. Wow, someone in YouTube chat just called me very high IQ. Damn, YouTube chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, I don't get that all the time from Twitch chat, you know? People make fun of the farms. People make fun of the archer ranges on the island. Wait a second. Their username is my mother's name. What is... Oh, Mom! Mom! You're embarrassing me in front of chat again. Leave. No, I'm kidding. It's actually... First off, it's not a paid chatter, and it's not my mother, okay? It's my uncle. No, it's not him either. Moving on. Market Blacksmith from Dragonstar. Okay, so I thought Dragonstar would play water. So it was very low IQ of me to assume that. My initial prediction was correct. He's going to send it, and he's on stone. Viper is going to play... Oh, archer range. Viper is expecting the castle, and he wants to deny it with archers. That's what this is. Oh, boy. And the key here is, will Dragonstar have loom? He does have loom in queue. And then, of course, how many villagers does he bring to drop the castle? And then the position of the castle is clutch. The golden stone is always forward. He found the stone. He didn't fully check the gold. The fact that Viper's scout is weak, though, now hurts this. Because the scout would be really helpful. Dragonstar looking around. Dragonstar has made some hulks in case Viper goes for water. But Viper has neatly built the barracks and the archer range further back so he cannot see what's coming. If Viper's getting fletching, Viper is definitely expecting a forward castle. And he's looking. And Dragonstar is on stone. Honestly, it's a small win for Viper even if the castle just doesn't go on his face. Even if it's just a defensive castle, it's good. But here comes Dragonstar. Loom's not in yet. Loom is not in yet. Loom is not in yet. This could be so bad. This is so good from Viper to understand the energy that Dragonstar will bring. Loom is in queue, but the villagers are going to die so quickly. The Viper's scout went down, but Viper will get the villager kills. The Dragonstar has to run all the way home. A great read from Viper. And Loom... If Loom was in before he went to Castle Age, he might have saved every villager there. But Loom is kind of an important tech. Dragonstar backs up. He lost 3 vills. And now he drops the castle. But here's the good thing for Dragonstar. The good thing is, Viper showed his hand too early. If Viper waited, if Viper sat in his base, Viper maybe denies that castle entirely and wins the game. But he only killed 3 vills. And so now Dragonstar can make a Hussite wagon to help with the archers. And now he could play this game out. Dragonstar sees the gold now. We have the medium warships upgrade on the way for Viper. His Hawks are over here. And he'll aim to get the fishing snipes. Obviously, Viper's economy is much stronger right now. Viper signals over here and says, oops. So he did not mean to signal. He's just very distracted. And Dragonstar finds the siege workshop with the scout. Viper will expect Hussite wagons, so 1 mangonel can lock that down. That's a good decision. Viper already 1,000 resources ahead in resources collected. And he's got 10 fishing ships behind. I think he'll like his position. He should know he has the better economy. and it's very unlikely that Dragonstar can immediately do damage to his eco, unlike the previous game. Scout's kind of a big deal here. The Scout could technically hit the Mangonel, but the Scout's super weak, and Viper could always kill it off. In a normal arena game, we would see lots of monks right now from Bohemians. Ooh, man, nice shot there from Viper. And Dragonstar snagging the relics. Dragonstar still is not actively fishing with his fish, guys. He's got them garrisoned. They're just not working. And it feels like the energy is going to have to raise here for Dragonstar. I think this is where we get our little red noses out. And we start to get start to get clowny. More monasteries, lots of monks, lots of monk upgrades. Bohemians, they get both mining upgrades for free. So being all over this gold is key. Micro has to be perfect. These wagons are not cheap. Viper's attack rounds have been solid. The wagons can always be repaired unless they die like that. Nice trades for Viper. I think Viper's eco should be looking pretty strong behind this. I think both players should be thinking about Imp. Viper's getting redemption for his monks, though. And Viper ends up losing another... he ends up killing another Hussite wagon. But he loses the Mangonel. And now needs another Mangonel. And just one monastery for Viper. Hussite wagons are no joke. Mangonel's out again. The problem is the Hussite wagons kill the Mangonels pretty quickly, so... Viper's done the right thing here. Actually, Viper just showed his hand. Viper starts to convert the Hussite, and now he tells Dragonstar that the opponent is on redemption already. There's no way that you could start the conversion noise unless there's another unit around. Viper will just scare it away, though, to get the relic. Yeah, I mean, you see your opponent ends up going for redemption. You're then going to go for your own units. And he's going to go for atonement to convert the monks. Viper is adding a siege tower, which is an interesting decision. This allows Viper to roll in, get super close to the monks from Dragonstar, and snipe them. It's a great play. Could be a great play. Yep, monks go for the conversions. Okay, monk dies. Crossbows hop out. Viper going for the masterpiece. The problem is the siege towers have been nerfed, and the Viper can't get close. Viper can't actually click the monks. Oh my god. Oh my god, he didn't get a single one. Holy. So a couple things at play there. They just nerfed the siege towers, so they move slower. Also, it's always been the case that ranged units don't insta-fire when they hop out of the tower, which hurt Viper there. And then the other aspect, of course, is Hussite wagons can block projectiles pretty nicely. So, well played from Dragonstar to position his units. And Dragonstar now could start to convert the Siege Workshop, and Viper could have some real issues. Conversions need to happen. Viper gets the conversion. Dragonstar gets the conversion, and then he deletes the Mangonel and kills the monk. That's a good engagement for Dragonstar. Keep in mind the amount on food, though, for Dragonstar. He's got, like, basically no working fishing eco. He doesn't have any farms. This is full gold. I'd like to see him get to stone again. He is adding petards to break them through Viper's walls. The monk v monk action is so important here. Viper is adding the fish. We know he has the better eco. But can he deal with Dragonstar's energy and military today? He also didn't delete the Siege Workshop. So now Dragonstar has a Siege Workshop, which is just another sign that this pressure from Dragonstar is working. Viper is falling back. He will drop a castle. He knows this is about to get bad. He will drop the castle there, which is a good castle, assuming he completes it. But there are petards on the way. There are petards on the way from Dragonstar. This castle might not go up. What are we witnessing here? The petards will go in. The gate will go down. The Hussite wagons and the monks will follow through. That is a 50% castle for Viper. Will it complete? He cannot make siege anymore. His own monks are being targeted. Dragonstar needs to follow. He needs to follow with his units. His wagons didn't follow here. This castle could still go up. Now, I don't know if the castle actually stays up. The Hussite wagons might have to sit underneath the castle. Dragonstar's panicking right now. This is tough. because the castle will range a lot, and Dragonstar has to back up there. Oh, man, Dragonstar almost had it. He almost had it. If he was able to click, and that's a tough click there, in next to the castle, I think he could have denied it. But, of course, he has to back up now, and that's horrendous when he's behind an eco. All the military gets shut down. But he does know that Viper has his gold over here. And he can just come this way. I see he's adding rams. I see he's adding farms. That was so close, dude. Great call from Viper, though, to drop the defensive castle. He was never expecting the Batards. It almost worked out, but that castle's huge. Viper's going to go imp now. But, like, what's he making imp? I guess with 15 fishing ships out there, you have the food. So that's no surprise. I would imagine maybe Viper's going to end up making monks. Getting more monk upgrades in imp. And Viper just moves off the gold. Okay. Organ guns are not an option. Basically, normal military units are no longer an option. With this many monks out. Look at this, though. Like, Dragonstar is so locked in today, it's unreal. He's going to this gold, and Dragonstar has an outpost there already. So, and that's what Dragonstar should be thinking. Is like, if Viper's not there, where is Viper going to be for gold? But realistically, there is some gold on the shoreline, so Viper can take the oysters. I don't think you're supposed... I didn't know you ate oysters like that. I thought you mined them. So that's a bit weird. Isn't that the... am I wrong, guys? He's like eating the oysters like he's eating berries. I thought you... Oh, they changed it in the new patch. Oh, I see. Okay, okay. That explains it then. Viper does have another 400 gold of oyster over here. Oh, and he's dropping a town center there. Okay. Guys, Viper does need to keep his imp TC alive. Is there a chance? And that... He's got no protection. Castle will take down that other TC. It would have been epic, but I think Viper's got just enough time to get imp. Holy cow. He has to be careful here, though. This still could get extremely dangerous. The rams and the mangonels are here. The castle is up. And Viper needs to conserve every single monk that he has. What is this game? Like, you essentially go imp for the trebuchets, and then you go imp for block printing on the monks. Dragonstar needs to delete that. That's horrible loss for Dragonstar. It's actually really good for Viper that he... Or really good for Dragonstar that Viper accidentally killed one there. This is where you should get Heresy in Dragonstar's position. I'm not kidding. Like, Heresy is a huge play. You cannot be donating monks to Viper when Viper gets conversions. If you get Heresy, you can actually fight this back down in age. Without Heresy, though, you're donating the units to Viper, and Viper just has better monks now. Yep, there's an example of it. And here comes more, and I think this will snowball against Dragonstar pretty quickly. Especially because Viper is the faster player here. He's really good with monks. One monk switches sides. The other monk switches sides. The bald monks get to experience what it's like to wear a hat for a change. Well, I guess they're not really changing wardrobes, but... Hussite wagons are actually pretty good against trebs. So they can go underneath castles and snipe the trebuchets. Viper still only has 5 monks. What is this game? The Rams could maybe go in for Dragonstar and take down the trebuchet as well. Viper's up in age, but he's way down in numbers. Oh, nice micro with the monks. Viper fighting back with villagers here. Those villagers are going to die. Dragonstar's castle is still up. Dragonstar will soon have more eco than Viper. Dragonstar is sending it, and he's going to castle drop the trebuchet and castle from Viper. Who is this player, man? Who is this player to have the confidence to do this against Viper? Viper retargets the treb. No! Castle goes down. But the treb goes down. If the same thing happened, though, if that castle doesn't get trebbed, it's game winning. But now that the castle's not up, Viper doesn't have as much security. I don't know what's happening. Viper's monks need to hide inside the castle. There's a ram there that Viper actually can't really do anything but convert. Viper's villagers are getting absolutely slaughtered. He still cannot take golds. Dragonstar can still make monks. He can still make wagons. That is a lot of eco kills. Viper would need to sell food right now to get any gold units. Honestly, though, Viper retargeting that trap saved the game for him. It would be over. I'm sure of it. That was actually a great play from Dragonstar. It looks risky. No, don't call it. Do not call it. It's not over. I don't think it's over. That castle goes up by maybe 1 XD. Well played. No, no, no. Oh my god. He could have still won. I mean, obviously losing that castle is insane. I actually think he could still win this game. Here's what happens, okay? Here's what happens. So if he plays on, I give Viper 80% chance from here, okay? But, like, Viper has to sell off at the market, which he's rebuilding now, and make monks and camp underneath the castle. Dragonstar, if he masses wagons and rams, maybe he can push it, but Viper probably converts them all. Actually, you know, the more I look at it, the more I look at the situation, the more I understand. I do understand the GG a little bit more from Dragonstar. But, man, what a game. What a game. And I think, again, if the castle goes up, he might actually win the game because that ram never goes down. Guys, Dragonstar's eco's an absolute mess. These villagers are not working. But my thing was, at least he still has gold income, right? Oh. T90, why didn't Viper make a scout switch? Oh, scout switch against castles and Hussite wagons just doesn't work, man. That was crazy. I kind of need a moment to settle down and breathe before we move into the next game. But what a hold from Viper, and he somehow gets the job done. I want to go back. Okay. I mean, Viper's Treb is Trebbing this castle. The only thing you could do differently, really, is wait for Viper's Treb to fire and then drop it. But that's really tough to get the timing right. But, like, Viper... Look, the Treb started to fire. And then he stops it at the correct moment here. Guys, a Treb damage from one Treb does 400-ish damage. I don't actually know the exact number on flat ground. Maybe chat can help. Look at how close this is. This is at 380 HP. It was at 386 when it hit. Like, if he had slightly different timing there, the castle will complete. The castle will protect the ram. Viper's castle goes down. He has no protection. Wow. And like, Viper needed that win so badly. He needed that. Holy, that keeps him in the run for first place. But, I mean, one of the best sets of the tournament so far. Thank you for being here. I'm kind of losing my mind on what I need to say right now. But they're about to play game number 3. Wow. So, welcome in, guys. Game number 3. If you didn't know the storylines between these players before, if you didn't know anything about them, you would have said, yeah, these are 2 even players. And Vipers may be a little lucky to be up, or not be up, to have gotten that previous win. We've got Dragonstar just sending the strats today. To be fair, Viper has as well. Both games have been very unique. Viper goes for the Vietnamese, and Dragonstar goes for the Mayans. Now, Dragonstar is one of the few players who has really used this new updated version of Valley as I think Valley was intended. We added additional hunt, and more importantly, we've added unpushable hunt into the middle. So the chickens and the hares out there, Twitch chat if you want to spam chicken, you can't push them, and it's endless food. So Dragonstar loves to utilize that. And he actually had played Aztecs on this map before. He went for the early lane with the Eagle, and he went for Endless Militia. But here, he hasn't been able to find any lanes from Viper yet. Viper a bit more to the south than he was expecting. And that's some critical time there for Viper to bring in his boar. You always need to do that here if you're Viper. And Viper actually getting very fortunate on the back. He's got his sheep. And he also has the boar here as well. So, Dragonstar depends on the early lane to take the food away from Viper and then follow it up with a big push. But there's been no lane yet. Viper's gold is exposed. Viper's berries are exposed. Lots of these resources are forward for Viper. But the backwood line's very nice. And so far, so good. Yeah, there's the barracks. Now, game 1, Aztecs have 150 gold at the start, which means you have 100 gold for 5 militia, and then you can still get loom. Here, the Mayans get loom at the start because their population blocked. You have 50 gold remaining. So that's only enough gold for 2 militia. So it's a very different situation in terms of the builds. It's much more difficult to go for the 5 militia here. But Dragonstar will do it. He'll walk back and forth to the gold. He has no issues with that. But live wins. Viper's got 5. Dragonstar's got 3. Dragonstar is bottom 2 in the group right now. But I guess he might be tied with somebody. I'm trying to remember. But guys, type a 1 if you want to see Dragonstar in Platinum again next season. Like, this dude is must-watch Age of Empires. Like, it is must-watch AoE. He is crazy, dude. So, I probably shouldn't say this, but screw it, I'll say it anyways. I want Dragonstar to survive. So, it would be to Viper's detriment. If Viper were to lose this game, it becomes an uphill battle to get first place, but Viper could still do it. Here come the militia coming forward from Dragonstar. Yeah, typically, though, what he does is he then comes forward and takes all the hunt. Viper spotted the barracks. Viper's locked in with his scouting. And at this point, you should know. If you didn't know anything after game 1, you should have an idea, especially with the Eagle being in your base already. And this is what you need to see from Viper. Your quick walls are fantastic, but you have to preemptive wall from time to time. And so that's what he does. Perfect timing on it. Almost feels like Viper is going to match the build order right now. Because he's building a barracks. He just collected 10 gold. I feel like Viper just wants to make a couple militia of his own. It could end up being a good idea if he knows Dragonstar will go to the middle too. Ooh, he's going to go to the middle. All right. Waiting to see what the eco looks like for Dragonstar. I've seen aspects of this build where sometimes he won't go for the lumber camp yet. He'll go for the mill. Doesn't seem like we'll see additional militia from him. He's just attacking the houses right now. His scouting, he seems to be looking for Viper. He didn't see Viper on the mill here. He's looking to see if Viper would sneak. Sometimes you overthink it a bit if you're well prepped, because in practice games, I'm sure people are sneaking to the sides. There's actually a bear there. I feel like that bear, the bears are a bug. I don't think there should be any bears there. But now Dragonstar, he never saw the barracks. Now he sees the militia in the middle, and now he's probably like, what's going on here? Yeah, villagers from Viper, militia from Viper, and Viper's like, stay off my chickens, man. But you got to be careful here, Viper. You might think that you're about to get the initiative, but Dragonstar wants messy games. So you want to start a brawl? Dragonstar's all about it. And Dragonstar's like, I'm not leaving. And now Viper shows up, and Viper commits even more. Oh, God. Well, you have Viper with his Black Forest experience and quick walls. So he'll know all about the Vil Wars. And then you have Dragonstar, who's just a maniac. So he'll know all about it, too. I think Dragonstar lost the militia to the town center, though. He did take a house, but losing the militia is kind of brutal. Especially when Viper already has 3. And Viper has the scout, and Viper gets a villager kill. Very nice start. Who do you think has done this build order more between these two? It's not even a question, because I know how prep Dragonstar is, so it's not even a question, really. I think Viper is adapted very nicely to it, but I promise you that Dragonstar's done this like a dozen or so times, because he knows he only has a chance if he's prepared for this. And yeah, he's on the way up to feudal age. Guys, he'll be making militia and planning on man-at-arms. If he has enough time here, and he does, to get to 3 to 4 man-at-arms, and Viper's still out here in the middle, even Viper could have some big problems. Also, a big thing to bring up right now is you cannot wall on the sandy area in the middle. So that's why they don't build mills there. And also that means no quick walls for Viper, right? I don't like that for Dragonstar. Losing that militia. It's a bit of a problem. It's essentially the same build, though. And they're both hard committed to the middle. Viper will add more militia as well, I believe. I like the farms for Viper, though they're not actually, they don't have any active farmers. But farms become important. Archer follow-up becomes important. For Dragonstar, houses become important. He'll drop a house now. But Dragonstar is going full army here. And he even has another mill committed to the middle. This is exactly what he did against Sito. At Viper, we'll see Feudal Age, and he'll think, what? Like, how? You lost a villager. You had a less economic build than me because you skipped some steps. You skipped the lumber camp. How are you up? And here we go, guys. Dragonstar has to have man-at-arms. Viper has to back out of the middle. Viper will add his own militia and wait to maybe return. But Dragonstar has all that food income right now, and he's going double archer range. Dude, it's insane. Guys, I'm such a big Dragonstar fan, but I thought 3-0 Viper today. It's third round now. It's time for Viper to step up. Time for him to run to the top of the group. But yeah, Dragonstar's level has been immense. The Archer follow-up as well. Double Archer range instead of one range. Viper will get the man-at-arm upgrade, and Viper does have the higher numbers. But things like fletching become awfully tough for Viper to afford. I'm curious what Viper tries to do now. He sees the archers there, but like, can you possibly go to Dragonstar's base? And Dragonstar's micro looks pretty clean, pretty crisp. And Dragonstar saw the numbers, and Dragonstar will match the numbers for Viper. And Viper takes the attack. That's a nice fight for Viper, but he's got some weak units in there. Basically, Dragonstar just doesn't want... He doesn't want this army to ever get to his base. And if the army doesn't ever get to his base, he's happy. Yeah, and he clears it. Nice clear. 8 military for Dragonstar. Viper now sitting at 2. But he will get fletching. He will drop down another archer range. He won't have the consistent food income of the middle like Dragonstar has. And Dragonstar will drop the blacksmith. Dragonstar has a lot of potential here to end the game early. It's 6 archers. Viper only has 2. This would shake up the group massively. This would actually put Viper in the... It still doesn't feel real to say it, but like in the conversation of potentially not making playoffs in the group. Could put him out of the top 3, could even put him into the bottom 2. Basically, anything could happen for Viper after this with 2 rounds to go. And the army from Dragonstar, we know will continue. We know he goes crazy with the numbers and the upgrades. He'll run this way towards Viper's woodline. This is all to set up the next attack. The other army's already flowing through. Definitely suggest, especially now, listening to... Dragonstar's got a YouTube channel. He talks about his prep. He talks about what he thinks about the sets. I'm already tuned into that just to hear what Dragonstar will have to say after this. But it feels like the tone in which he will speak will be very different based on whether or not he's able to kill Viper right now. Viper's got an adaptable situation. He's got enough skirms and enough archers, and he's got a good enough civ to leave the resources in the middle and still be okay. You could tell Dragonstar just unable to really trust himself to take any fights right now against Viper. By the way, 0 farms back here, right? He gets housed. He drops 3 houses. He's wide open. He has to break Viper because Viper is in a better long-term position here. The farms are eventually just what you want an Age of Empires 2 game to be. Dragonstar's banking on this, giving him the early kill. Viper is house walling right now. He's tracking the armies constantly. Still hasn't lost a villager. It's been really well played. He did tower the gold, which felt important. Dragonstar will now pressure this way because Viper's moving to that wood line. Dragonstar's still just keeping him moving. Another mill for Dragonstar. More chickens, more hares. What Viper needs, guys, is a counterattack. Hit Dragonstar here. That's the risk of this strategy. But he can't do it if Dragonstar's consistently posing a threat. And right now, Viper, while he has the gold tower, wood is going to become the issue. And Dragonstar's been patient with the micro. Well, Viper loses a vill. Loses 3 villagers, actually, over the last couple minutes. And Dragonstar will move this way. Viper drops the house, though, to block it off. It is a ranged unit warp. Vietnamese should be happy there. Look at the runner there from Dragonstar. Viper's woodline is an absolute nightmare. Dragonstar switching gears now. He'll drop the market. He's clearly thinking about Castle Age. He does have more army over here. He'll find that Viper built a lumber camp there too if he pays attention to it, but he still has all this to worry about. He wants Castle Age. Castle Age upgrades can obviously end the game. It's amazing that the game hasn't ended so far because Viper's defense has been incredible. We have not really seen any time for Viper to ever counterattack. Maybe now's the time, though. If Viper goes full send, I don't think there was enough resistance from Dragonstar in the middle, and Dragonstar could start to struggle. Dragonstar should sense it, though, because Viper doesn't have anything here anymore. And he's just running. He's about to try and run right through. Viper with the quick walls. Viper finds the skirms. Dragonstar's up. Next 2 minutes decide the game. If Dragonstar could hold, Dragonstar wins. But if Dragonstar takes losses, who knows? Viper is nowhere close to clicking up to Castle Age. Dragonstar's made a lot of skirms here, which feels like the unit of choice for now. In Castle Age, Eagles would be good. And he's looping around the rest of his army to defend. Vietnamese archers and skirmishers have more HP. Still probably not a single farm for Dragonstar behind this. He gets housed again. He's dropping more houses in the middle. But Viper is finding that the rest of the army is coming from Dragonstar, and Viper is just out of position with these archers. He does run through. It's very nice micro. But I don't think that army will do much. Dragonstar will chase it. This is Viper's woodline now. Dragonstar 50 seconds from being in castle. Viper just has had no rest. He's had no time to deal with this. His archers go down. And guys, it's been the same theme. It's not the economy necessarily, but it is the numbers of military from Dragonstar. He never stops. I've been thinking for a long time with Dragonstar's strats that if like the top 5, top 10 players in the world were to play this way, it might be the way every game should go. Dragonstar's up. This is tap out territory. Dragonstar beats Viper. Round number 3 wins 2-1. Amazing performance from Dragonstar. He has been, just based on what I know, putting in great amounts of time to prepare for this tournament. He did the previous season, and the conversation for him was, can he survive? With that win over Viper, I think he ties Viper's win count, and the sky is the limit for Dragonstar. What a performance. One of the best displays that I've seen from him, truly. Because in other sets, you could see the potential was there, but he would miss the timings on the attacks. He would have worse micro. I am really impressed. And I know, like, for Viper, this is going to be brutal, right? Because the first series, I was saying, Viper's just not very sharp right now, and Viper's a slow starter in TTL. That's an amazing performance from Viper as well.